talk about floods in Accra today. It's been a very wet day here and parts of the country today as heavy rains caused havoc in many places. A second person has been confirmed dead whilst officials wait to confirm what MP for Klote Kole says could be a third case. Now, the downpour, which was set to have started at dawn today, has, as you may well be aware of, displaced many and destroyed several properties in parts of the capital. We'll start from Odona, where Kodoyansin witnessed the devastation.
Ernest, I'm in the westernmost corner of this community here in Odona, and people are walking around scarily as if this is normal. But none of what you are looking at is normal. This is the effect of water on the property and lives of people who are citizens of this country. Yet every time it rains, the water washes away parts of their life that they cannot replace. If you look behind me, you can see that these particular stores, these two shops, have brought out all of the damaged goods and property from their stores. As a result of the rain, they've lost all of this, and they are still trying to rebuild their lives. Now, I met three of them, Mr. Tete, Mr. Isiama, and Mr. Kojo, who agreed to tell us what this actually feels like every year when it rains. Mr. Isiama, thank you for speaking to us. Now, tell me, this problem, how long have you been experiencing flooding in this area?
I've been for Odona since from 1990. And by 2000, let's say 1995, there's a flood. But it's not so seriously. But it wasn't like how this time it is coming. Somewhere it's like Sodom and Gomorrah. Before 1995, there's some trees in the Odo River. That's let the water flow. There's a big land that let the water flow. But since from 1995 coming, they start to fill that place with sawdust and sand to occupy the place. So it has led the Odo River has become small to the sea. So if this problem is going to be solved, then we have to remove that Sodom and Gomorrah. We have to expand that place so that the water can flow into the sea. If not that, and because they've been managing this small gutter, it can't solve the problem. This small gutter can't solve the problem unless they make it widely to the sea before this problem can solve. Since from 1990, I've been experiencing Odona here. Yeah.
Now, Mr. Tete, tell me, last night when the rain fell, actually let's speak to Mr. Kojo. When the rain fell last night, how much damage did your shop and your home suffer?
I cannot be able to say this is the amount that I'm losing now until after everything, before I can say this is what I'm losing. If you can be able to see, if you can see the environment now, you see that we are panicking. In fact, we are suffering now, making the things to be all right. But as of now, I cannot be able to tell you this is the amount that I'm losing. But my own contribution about the solution of this event, you see, since 1990, as my brother said here, 2015, 2010 is what, if you look at the counter, you see the last counter, this is where the water ends. All the goods get spoiled. 2015, which also the fourth counter, and this one again. But my own contribution, and also to say that this is the solution of this matter will be, you see the lagoon is choked. The solution is that if government can be able to, that's the only thing that we do in a year, to open that place like harbor, the way they build harbor, where the ship bath. If they can be able to open it and build it, then the deepness will be like one pole of electricity. Then they will channel the water there, open the sea, so that before that place full up, will full up, then all this problem will solve. That is the only solution for me to what I understand. What they can do and we can be free. Apart from that, all these gutters you can not be free.
Now I can sense the frustration in the community, Ernest, because this is a story that has been told over and over and over and over again. In fact, most people who live here do not believe that this problem can be solved. Let me illustrate. Mr. Tete, are you not fed up?
I'm very fed up because what is happening for Donna here, we don't know. It's a very long time. Even we don't know what to do now. Because all the gutters around us is not moving. Even they are not moving inside. They are not doing anything to help us here. But we are just here. So now we are just fed up. If somebody will see somebody here, say, but we don't know how to welcome the person. All the big men are running away from us because of the rain. If the rainy season, then nowadays it's very worse. So if they can help us, fine. If they cannot help us, we don't know what to do now. That's what we can say now.
So what we have is a community that has actually given up on seeing a solution in their lifetimes. Even though they have great suggestions of how to fix it, they don't actually believe that anybody cares enough to make it happen. Ernest.
Kojo there earlier reporting on News Desk. We can hear from Lieutenant Colonel Michael Mfum of the 48th Engineers Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces confirming the death during an ongoing rescue, or a rescue mission that happened earlier this morning by a joint team of the military and the National Disaster Management Organization at Diodona.
What can you tell us about whether we have one or two of the bodies?
I'm not aware of the number of people there. For now, all I know is there's someone trapped in there who is dead. That is all I know for now. But I can't confirm the actual number of dead.
Lieutenant Colonel, have we been able to help people wade through the waters out of their homes?
Yes, we've been able to do as much. When we got around 0400, we got some people who were trapped in there. So we had to rescue them with our boats. We had about 20 of them in total.
Let's now hear from the Assemblyman for the Yodona electoral area, narrating circumstances from his perspective that led to what is believed to be the electrocution of the deceased, identified as Kojo.
He's gone.
He got electrocuted.
Yes.
But indeed, as an assembly member, we're always cautioned by the National Disaster Management Organization, indeed the assembly members, the assembly itself, the members of parliament, that we should always be proactive. If you look at the way the wires keep dangling, for example, on the poles itself, before you get to look at the situation and the way the wires have been used around the buildings here, it presupposes that definitely any disaster could give you some tragedy.
Yes, it has happened before. That is the reason why we started calling ECG to put off the light. You know, when you look, you see a transformer here. It was almost full. So when there's a big transformer here and the current in that transformer is over 11,000 watts. So definitely we'll have problem here. And looking at this area is an old area. So definitely this is the way you're going to see it, unless ECD want to have a change in repairing some of this thing for us.
And I'll try and see whether my lenses could get you the transformer. And that is the height of the transformer.
Yes.
Okay. And water had exceeded this transformer. You could definitely not see your way pass through, and that is the height. And if you're watching us live on Joy 99.7 FM, as well as watching us, if you're listening to us live on Joy 99.7 FM and also watching us on JoyNews, for those who are listening on radio, the height of the transformer will be about 12 to about 15 feet, thereabouts, and the water had exceeded that height. It shows you the height and the level of the water. Now, I would want to speak to a number of the residents, but if you take a look at the extent of damage, I see a couple of the buildings that are just one floor story buildings. They're very old. definitely just post-independence, 70s buildings. There's one or two that may have been built within the last couple of years, but definitely this is an old residential area. And this is a mix hub of residents, mechanical shops, metal workshops, and then many other areas where residents tend to trade. Now, I would want to speak to some of these rescuers. These early rescuers helped in the early hours of the morning, I can say from 1 to 2 a.m. to help many of these stranded residents who had water entering their houses at a level of about 10 feet, some 12 feet, based on the max I can see. Which of the languages do you want to speak?
Daniel.
Daniel, me pacho emrebeng na oba ha obeboa manfo woman nsuo na nkasa no eyiri wo mo.
If you want me,
if you bang,
police quarters.
Baby, you kojo the late kojo no one. Kojo na we free mono, not saying.
Oh, on you be a or dream. They will ensure you are on the yan. Now, mom be you on cars, wow, I didn't know, now they are 2 years. And when sooner toy, no. Na say nyina yada be 12:30 to 1 mu ene ete say insuo ne ba ene odimni ka no konya na boy bi wa no fe no kofi so nko yi ni ka no na insuo ne da insuo ne ba na boy ni tu ni ka ti boy ni tu ni ka na oba ye ni sa do be bobo eden ni ada ti obo dan ni mu no ena enyane nyane emma ni bi nyane nyane ti enyane ye no police ni ba ko efia efeni si Ronaldo o ko juma enam de ensuo ni toniti no o de ni kin ma obi boy bi wa ye junior ye fene bo enti apian ba no bi se bo si Ronaldo ye kan se ne dan wa yi mu nyoma no no si ama yi di hia ni na gu soro asisi anaka TV nko a na apian ka se udi ni pa wu a usi TV ana oja ibe no eti owura edan na osan ibe no no
ye kojo no
owura osan ibe no owura dan mu no ni ati se bibi aji gum ti ati se bibi aji gum na ma na sate so mtetem se me mamlo ene de fast but ni pa oni omo dem ho no oka ho a miensa.
Very sad story earlier this morning. That gentleman essentially tells Roland what happened or what they believe happened at the time. He says there were 3 other people in the room, but we don't know that those people were affected. We only know that one body was taken away by the military earlier today. And as we reported, 2 people have died. So let's go to Parakou Estate, where my colleague Maswa Agbaba is reporting on the other death that occurred there. Well, that person has not been found, and Maxwell has more from there.
Let's get closer and interact with some of the community people here. We have the father of the man who is missing here with us. We want to find out from him how he heard the news and what is happening right now. Da, ciao. Inti, adiana koso sisia.
The cost on the no, and so na toy no. And by say a boy, my baba cotia, my brother Paniba or Tia, and Suafano, and Timmy by a bear and umpire the Kiasono, a piano didn't call Nimba Buka Kiasono, body didn't see young Honokra.
Intina or Shakias no one.
No, Shakiasono.
Okay. Well, he says the man they're looking for right now is his senior brother's son. And he says that he came here and they got information that he was carried away by the flood water. He was sleeping in a makeshift structure here at this place in this community. and then he got carried away. He was carried away by the flood water. Okay. Well, she is saying that she knows the circumstances under which the makeshift structure was carried away by the flood water. His son was slipping in there. So she's saying that she believes that her son is dead. And the only thing she wants now is how she can get the body.
Oh. Yeah, quite what I say. Shamina say. Shamina say Kayas. Not have a new. Brian, the flood upon you. I come coming in the day. Minyan Minya Bacopa, and to be got an Omobra by Maya. And this I have to abandon myself with Abosom. Because I'm there, Shano. I was TV so. You have to Amano. Because Sana Okano, Sana Okasa, Sani Baba who, where the idea. You have to myself with Abosom.
Well, just to summarize what he's saying, he's raising concerns about the drainage system here. He thinks that is the cause of the flooding, and he blames it for the devastation, caused, here. Okay, so this is the spot where the gentleman who is known as SM. This is where his makeshift structure occupied. You can still see the concrete here. We are told by the residents here that his makeshift structure was actually carried away by the flood water, and we are told that he was sleeping in the makeshift structure before he got carried away by the flood water. So that makes the residents here believe that he's dead. Many of them that I've been speaking to do not think that he is alive. The drainage system they are talking about. So it was the drainage system that overflowed 8 banks and then got into the community here and destroyed properties belonging or owned by these squatters. Let's get closer. So some of the makeshift structures were actually washed into this drainage system, and you can see this television sets completely destroyed. I mean, they can't be used for anything again. So this is a drainage system that overflowed 8 banks, got into this community, washed away the makeshift structures, and then dumped it in here, and then carried whatever was in its way away. What's your name?
My name is BK Christopher.
BK
Christopher.
Okay, you live here?
Yeah, I live here.
Okay.
One of the problem that we are having in Ghana, in Accra, then I'm an environmental activist.
Okay.
Then inside my book, I'm the one that have written a book called Keep Ghana Clean, Malaria and Cholera Awareness. Okay. I finished the book 2050, and I'm looking for a bill to publish the book. What I say inside the book, I said that a city with a poor drainage system suffer disaster of flood in the time of heavy rainfall. So there are many drains. If you are watching, you see that it was not constructed well, and then the government is not thinking about constructing the drains. This is the problem. And then the people that give a license for people to build, then they let people build in the water lane, where they give permit for those people. So there are many buildings that were built close to the water. They receive permit. So it's government we issue permit for those people. Those are some of the things, especially that normally cause flood in Ghana, in Accra.
Okay, you live here?
Yeah, I live here. My things were taken. Okay. My dress, my thing, my phone was taken. My boot, but you see my shoes, see, my boot was taken. Water take my cheese. I don't have anything. From morning now, I don't eat. Up to now, I don't have anything.
What's your name?
What?
What's your name?
My name is Kojovi.
And Kojovi, yeah. What were you doing previously? How did you end up here?
Oh, because of out of necessity that it is in, I will move to this place. Yeah.
If it's a necessity, what does that mean?
Necessity, like say we got money and we go and buy land or build house or maybe rent room in better place.
But that is not the case. So did you know SM, the gentleman they're talking about, SM, the gentleman who got carried away by the flood water?
Yes, I know.
What time did it start raining here?
It started raining around 11. It started raining around 11.
Okay, around 11. So
around
stand
11.
Here for me. And then what happened?
And then, so as he was inside, some people thought that it was not inside. Some people thought that he was inside. They were calling, because everyone that was inside kiosk, they were calling us that you should come out. We should come out so that maybe water that is coming is plenty. But they call him. They not hear of him. So then later, before we come here, we saw that the water begin to take all the kiosks, and we saw that the kiosk that he was sleeping inside was taken, and we don't see, so nowhere to be found him.
Do you think he's alive, or you think he's been carried by
what happened now? No hope for his life, because they knew that he was inside the kiosk before the rain.
Okay. How old was he? How old is he?
20.
26. He has a wife and a daughter, right?
Yeah.
How many children?
One.
Okay.
Like 4 months.
Okay, so thank you very much for talking to us. Well, so this is the situation here, and like I mentioned earlier, this is right behind Parakou Estate. There's a squatter community here. A lot of the people here are squatters. And the drainage system here overflowed banks and then got into the community, destroyed all their makeshift structures. Many of them told me they do not have a place to sleep this evening. If you go just some meters away from this place, about 5 minutes walk from this place, there's a church just across the street. The Wonder Chapel International also has suffered the brunt of this flood. The church got flooded. Their musical instruments got destroyed in the process. Some church members we saw there are still busily cleaning up the place and what the flood left in its trail. So if you come here, it's still the attempt. All the gentlemen, all the men who live here in this community are trying to come together so they can step out and then try and look for their friend, SM, who we hear was carried away by the floodwater. Many of them think that he's dead, looking at the circumstances and the...
Well, we don't know whether or not he's dead, but he's feared dead, as you heard the people there say. Let's get on the line of speaking to Director of Communication for NATMO, George AC. Mr. AC, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Madam.
Have you had any updates from the situation in Parakou where one man is feared dead because they can't find him?
Yes, I'm aware of that. But because, as you're saying, once we've not been able to find the body, we are not concluding that he's dead as of now.
What does NATMO know?
Yeah, we got the report that there's, of course, the rains issue and then the flooding situation. As your people said, we are aware of what happened at Circle, or the Odor area. The military and our men, were involved in rescuing people who have been trapped. And then, unfortunately, one fatality that was reported in the morning. We also got another one from the Agbogblosi Central Mosque area. Another case of a kiosk that is being moved away, and people believe a guy sleeps in it, and they believe he must have been swept away with the flood. Then since we've not seen the body, we are trailing it to see if we'll be able to get the kiosk and see whether there's somebody actually in it.
One person dead for sure. We know that at the Odona. Yes. 2 people feared dead. From what you're saying, we only had one for Parakou, but you say that there's another from Agbogblosi. So
Agbogblosi Central Mosque area there.
So that's 2 more people there. What is NATMO doing to search for these people?
No, when it so happens, our men follow up. We trail where we suspect the flood waters move. We follow their trail to where it's likely to get to. Then we are able to follow through up to the end point that we think will be where the water will join any major drain or something. That is where we'll be able to establish that indeed the kiosk we find, if we locate it here, there's nobody in or there's somebody in. That's what we do when the flood waters recede a little.
At the moment, we're seeing many parts of Accra with this problem. And I said earlier this morning that if we take the script from 2, 3, 5 years ago will be saying the same thing. NADMO has been giving assurances. I mean, I can count from last year that this will not happen again because you are focusing on preventive measures rather than, you know, dealing with the problems when they occur. Have those preventive measures failed?
The preventive measures is part, yes. Education is part, desilting and dredging the drains and coal. They are all part of it. But when I listened to one of your earlier speakers at the Odo area, he believes the siltage is up to a height of maybe an electric pole or something. That will be established by the hydrological services people who know the depth of the drain. And so, yes, the dredging must continue. It is being done. But unfortunately, because of where we are living, and then when the flood waters get in, just a little major rain, it overflows this bank, as your reporter was saying, and then it affects those living along the banks of these drains, and we have this problem. So if we're really going to solve this, maybe we need to evacuate these people completely from maybe 50, 100 meters or about 200 meters close away from the drains. Then we say nobody, no human activity is going on there, no settlement is there. They will be able to, solve some of the challenges. There is also another difficult challenge that will be confronted with if we decide to take that step.
What are your plans for those who have been displaced? Several people have had their properties destroyed, especially at Odona, the usual place. Yeah. What's NADMO's plan to help these people out?
Yes, our men, some have gone back to the field, will bring this, and then one said he had not eaten and all that, which means livelihood matters are in. And then when their rooms are also, it's not possible for them to get back into their rooms and others, then we need the blankets and the mattresses to go support them. We're reviewing it and we'll make the response very soon.
When very soon is tomorrow? I mean, I don't know where those people are going to sleep today. So where very soon is what? Tomorrow, the day after?
Yeah, maybe. I told you our men are back on the field following up on these things. So as and when the report is finally declared, given by my boss, we'll go ahead if we need to send these blankets and other things to them. It could be today, it could be tomorrow or the day after, any of these days. But we are aware of the situation that these people are in, and we are not resting. We are working on it.
Well, I am sure that the people won't be able to wait till tomorrow or the day after. Yeah, they're looking forward to seeing it today, I believe.
Yes. Right. But we deal with structures. So when the report comes, that's what they will depend on. The boss will depend on to make a decision and direct our men to send the items there.
Mr. AC, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. George AC is Head of Communication with the National Disaster Management Organization. It's rather a story that ties you up because you have to say it over and over again, and it's usually one and the same.